Guys, Aldershot here, and today we're going to do another Diablo 3 Wizard Guide, and today we're going to take a look at the Fire Meteor build. Now this build actually has a bit of a backstory to it. When I posted the Arcane Orb build on the Diablo 3 forums, they basically gave me a lot of flack. They were saying that I was too obsessed with the character sheet DPS, it kind of lies to you, it's not very accurate. That I didn't have enough invested into fire damage or elemental damage in general, and that Arcane Orb really wasn't all that good. So yeah, honestly they were a little bit rough, a little bit harsh in the beginning, but this is the internet and these things are kind of expected. I didn't take it as hate, you know, I looked at it as advice. I took the information they were providing and kind of reformed my build into something new. And I have to say, the build is actually doing a whole lot more DPS. Its survivability has increased significantly, and overall it just plays a whole lot better. So it goes to show, if you just don't take the internet the wrong way and kind of listen, you can actually learn a thing or two every now and then. So yeah, I have to give props to the Diablo 3 community for jumping down my throat, because in the end it definitely gave me a lot better of a character, a lot better of a build. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. Anyways, let's take a look at what we got going on here. We'll start with the skills first. Now, oh, one more thing. I do want to mention that this video might seem a little long, but that's because at the end I've attached a full Torment 3 Rift run with this build, just to kind of give you an example of how it's going to play out in the battlefield, essentially. So it's really not going to be that long. I'll have annotations on the screen for you to get you to the parts of the build of the video that you might be more interested in. So hopefully that'll help things out. Anyways, let's start by taking a look at the skills. So we are going to use Meteor. This is a Meteor focused build. It does a lot of damage for us. It is going to be the meat of our DPS, and we're going to use the Meteor Shower rune with it because it does the highest DPS potential for the Meteor skill, and it's a nice little AoE attack as well, which is great for killing groups. Now Meteor does take a lot of arcane power to use, so what we're going to do is we're going to use Prodigy, alright, with Magic Missile. Prodigy is going to help us recharge our arcane energy when we run low, so we can get right back into Meteor spamming as quickly as possible. Now it's not going to be as fast as our previous Arcane Orb build as far as recharging goes, but it will do the trick. It'll recharge it fast enough. And basically what Prodigy does, it allows us to gain 5 arcane power whenever we use one of our signature moves or signature skills, which will be Magic Missile. Now we're using Magic Missile for a very specific reason. We're using it because of Mirror Ball, and that allows us to shoot 2 extra missiles instead of just 1, which increases the DPS quite significantly, of course. So going back to our skills, we are using Magic Missile for that reason. We're going to use the Conflagrate rune with Magic Missile because this is a fire build. We've invested into Fire Element Plus in our gear, so again, that's why we're going to use Conflagrate. Alright, so basically the general strategy is to spam Meteor. When you run out of arcane energy from spamming Meteor, go into your Magic Missile for filler damage, which is still quite significant. And also because it'll also synergize into Prodigy, allowing you to regenerate your arcane power going back into your Meteor spamming. And you'll see that at the end of the video, how I do that. Anyways, in support of our survivability, we have Magic Weapon with Deflection rune. Magic Weapon will help increase our DPS a little bit, but Deflection is why our main goal is. Originally I had Force Weapon, but the same thread that I posted my Arcane Orb build suggested Deflection to increase my survivability, especially when I get into the higher torments, and they were quite correct. I have to say, Deflection is quite a nice little shield that has improved my survivability overall quite significantly, so I do like it. Basically what Deflection does, it allows us to have a protective shield whenever we're attacking, and we're attacking quite a lot in this build. We're going to be spamming attacks all the time from the back line. And then we also have Arcane Energy for even more survivability with Prismatic Armor. Basically, it increases our resistance to all damage types, which is just going to help us not die, and that's not a bad thing, alright? So that's what we got going on for our passives anyways, or at least our beefs, or our what do you call it? Our buffs. There we go, that's the word I'm looking for. And for our mastery, we have Black Hole. It's great crowd control. Helps get large groups into one area. Great for triggering your area damage, which we'll talk about down the road. And also great for, you know, synergizing with our meteor attack as well, as it will bring a large group of mobs into one area, making it easy for our meteors to hit them accurately. And we're going to use the Spell Steel Ruin just to help increase our DPS a little bit and to help reduce the DPS of the enemy as well. Great for debuffing elites when necessary. Alright, so what do we have next? We have Teleport for even more survivability. With Wormhole, as generally speaking, it's kind of one of the better runes for this skill, as it allows us to get even more distance. And distance is really going to be our friend, because we can use distance to our advantage. We can lure mobs towards us from a distance, of course, and laying down meteors as kind of traps as they walk towards us. So allowing us to get that distance between you and the mobs with teleport is going to help significantly. It also allows us to get away from more dangerous situations. Alright, so that's basically what we got going on for our active skills. We already talked about Prodigy quite a bit. It helps synergize with our Meteor Magic Missile combo. Then we also have Unwavering Will. It's quite significant of a boost as far as armor, all resist, and damage goes. Basically, when we stand still for less than 2 seconds, it increases those stats quite significantly. So it's quite a nice little skill we have going. Obviously, we're going to want to stay or stand our ground as much as possible because of Unwavering Will. And that's another reason why Teleport's going to be so great for this build. Same with Black Hole. As crowd control and being able to get in the appropriate area of the battlefield will definitely help our Unwavering Will passive. Anyways, we're going to go into Conflagrate because this is a fire build and this is going to help our critical hit damage quite a lot. Alright, so that's basically why Conflagrate, extra DPS, nothing wrong with that. And we have Blur for more survivability. Or you can replace it with Glass Cannon. If you're in a lower tier or you feel, you know, ballsy enough, I guess. So it's replaceable with Glass Cannon for extra DPS if you want, but I chose to have Blur for more survivability, as DPS is pretty much covered in the gear. So we're going to talk about our gear a little bit now. So we already kind of talked about the Mirror Ball that allows us to do more DPS with our Magic Missile, as it allows us to shoot extra missiles with our skill. So there you go. And also we have increased meteor damage as well. Something I've learned from the same thread I was talking about. That elemental damage is really, really great, but something else is really good as well that I was kind of neglecting in the Arcane Ore build. The skill damage increases are actually quite significant improvements to your DPS as well. So definitely get the appropriate skill increases whenever possible. And for our helm, we're using Pride's Fall, which is great, to be honest, for this build, because the signature stat allows us to reduce our resources by 30% after not taking damage for 5 seconds. This is especially great in group play, because basically your group can serve as your tank while you fire from the back lines, allowing you to avoid damage altogether, which makes you capable of spamming Meteor a lot more efficiently, as you can spam a lot more meteors per arcane power thingy, whatever you want to call it, arcane power meter, as it obviously allows us to use our NG a little bit more efficiently. And we do have meteor damage increase on the helm as well to improve our DPS. And of course, get your base stats, get vitality or resist all or armor or something like that for a bit of defense, and definitely go for a critical hit chance if you're able to, or even critical hit damage if you're able to get that skill. For our neck, we're really just using this as a filler, the Gorget of Leoric. Using it because it has our needed skills. It has our base stat, which is intelligence. It has critical hit chance and critical hit damage. And I've replaced the attack speed improvement with fire damage improvement instead. I've learned that elemental damage will improve your DPS a lot more than attack speed buffs. Even though it will say otherwise in the sheet DPS, that's mainly because it's not calculating the elemental damage. So this is really just a filler. It could be a little bit better. I'm just kind of using it for the time being. That could be same for this that could be said the same for the bracers as well. This is really just a placeholder until I find something better. The signature stat really doesn't help us all that much, but it does give us elemental damage. It does give us critical hit chance improvements, and it does give us our base stats and a little bit of toughness and vitality as well. So again, I'm using this as a filler until I find something a little bit better. We're still using the same shoulders as our Arcane Orb. Basically a whole bunch of toughness stats with our base stat of intelligence as well. Right now, I used to love it. I still like it a lot for the signature stat, making our gear basically indestructible. But I am looking to improve it with something better, something that will improve some sort of skill, if possible. We've replaced our glove with Mage Fist. We are using it for fire damage improvements, plus it gives us trifecta stats with our base stats, which is quite nice. So there you go. We're still using the Tal Raja's Relentless Pursuit as well as our Witching Hour, both at level 60 still. The DPS improvements from these two pieces are too significant to ignore. Even though I've learned that attack speed isn't all that important for DPS, it's still quite an improvement for the most part. Better than our Hellcat Waistguard still. So that's why we're using it. It does give us a lot of DPS. And we filled the Tal Rajas with the best gem possible to give us the most intelligent stats as possible. So there you go. And we're using Skeleton's Deceit because it gives us a bit of skill improvement with our magic missile, which is quite nice because we do use our magic missile quite often. It does give us vitality and intelligence, which is also quite nice. We are using the best gems possible for the 2 slots. You're definitely going to want 2 slots for your pants, and you definitely want 3 slots for your chest as well. These are absolute necessities, alright? And for our boots, we found ourselves some ice climbers, which is very, very awesome, especially for mages who like to kite and keep a distance from the mobs. It grants us immunity from freezing and immobilization effects. And I'd honestly rather not to have the movement speed increase, but it's what we rolled, you know. We had to re-roll the skill increase. I think it was something else. I wanted meteor damage. So basically we just kind of made up the movement speed in the paragons, which we'll talk about in a second now. And for our weapon, we're still using Shantoto as well. It gives us fire damage. It's fair amounts of DPS. It's a pretty good Shantoto as well, so that's why we're using it. We're still using one of our yellow rings. It gives us trifecta skills. I'd like to replace it with something else in the future, but I haven't found anything better, so that's what we're using. We found ourselves a Stone of Jordan. It's not perfect. It's not exactly what I want. It doesn't give us any critical hit chance or critical hit damage, which is a bit unfortunate, but it is still definitely worth the slot for the elemental damage increase as well as the damage, the elite damage increase as well. It's quite significant, 30%. That is a lot, alright? So it's still worth the loss of our trifecta stats. So there you go. So that's basically our gear that we're using. Basically, I've stacked on as much as I possibly could with critical hit damage and critical hit chance, as well as obviously intelligence. But the biggest change to this build is that I've replaced a lot of attack speed stats with elemental increases, and I've also stacked as much appropriate skill increase stats as possible as well. I have meteor damage increase here and here as well. So there you go. We also have magic missile increase on the pant legs as well. So So that's basically the biggest changes, obviously, besides the new skills and new element focus. So we'll talk about the paragons a little bit as well. So I'll quickly run through this. We already have some movement speed in our boots, so we've only added an increase of 13 to make a 25% increase, which is the maximum in this game, and we've dumped the rest into intelligence. For offense, basically we're going to use critical hit chance first. We're not focused into attack speed anymore, and then we're putting the rest of our leftovers into critical hit damage. And for defense, all into all resist, same as before, and then we're investing into armor as well for more damage mitigation. And for utility, we're keeping our damage into area damage, which will synergize quite nice with our black hole skill. That will trigger quite a lot when we combine all the mobs into one big blob, essentially, with our black hole. And then the rest we're putting into resource reduction. I'm a little bit torn between that or life on hit, but the life on hit is so insignificant. I figured a little bit of resource reduction might add up in the future, so that's why I'm putting it into that. So there you go, guys. That's basically the build. I don't want to extend the video any longer. It's already pretty long already. So basically, I've stacked elemental damage, critical hit chance, critical hit damage, skill damage increases, and all that stuff, using Meteor, and then filling the gaps when I run out of arcane power with magic missile to refill the arcane power at the same time. So that's basically how it's going to work. I'll have a video at the end of this guide to show you how it's going to play out. It is in Torment 3, and it's in a Rift run. So hope you guys found this useful. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'm pretty open to suggestions. So if you have any ideas that I can try out to make this build even better, or any gear suggestions for replacements, feel free to leave it in the comments. I'll take a look at those. Again, this, I want to mention that this isn't the best build ever. I'm not saying that. I just want to show off what I got going with my build and stuff like that. So I'm not trying to brag. I'm just trying to show off what I got going. All right. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoy this, please send me some love, like, share, fave, and comment. But most importantly, please subscribe. Help me grow and feed me my vegetables. Thanks for watching, guys. Aldershot out.
Brave the rifts, and you will be well rewarded.
Still waiting. I don't have enough arcane power. I need arcane power. Your defenses are nothing. I don't have enough arcane power. Your defenses are nothing.
monstrous creature.
Need more arcane power. Dare attack me? I need arcane power. Your brave awaits! Need more arcane power. If only they could see me now. I'm injured. Not ready yet. Help me! If only they could see me now. Need more time. I don't have enough arcane power. I'm just warming up. Still waiting.
chance for glory.
Need more time. Need more arcane power. Only they could see me now. I can't pick up anything else. too much.